Good evening from an actual sunny Wales. Cheers. I'm actually going to take you on a little tour because where we're staying is called High Glanau, I guess it's pronounced Glanau Manor, which is in Monmouth, and it has some beautiful gardens. In fact, they're quite famous gardens because they were designed by, I can't remember the guy's name now, Tipping, who lived here, I think 1923. We'll see the plaques. I can correct these things in a moment. And he designed this garden, and he was the editor of Country Life magazine for a very long time, and he also designed the garden Checkers. So it's pretty beautiful, and it's got some herbaceous borders that we can have a look at, and also a huge glass house and a little vegetable garden as well. So this is the view that I've just come across as we come to the gate at the side of the house. How pretty is that? And if I can just scan down, there's a little, it's an octagonal pool. And there's the little walk. It's an arts and crafts house. And we'll come down these steps. Ooh, try not to fall off the edge. My legs are a little bit, because we've been doing a lot of walking, as you will have seen in the intro. But yeah, we've been very lucky with the weather so far. I think we've somehow found, as my friends keep saying, the only place in the country that isn't pouring with rain at the moment. So yeah, let's have a little look at the plants that we've got. Some Crocosmia lucifer there, geraniums and hydrangeas, Japanese anemones. Remember I said I have a really hard time growing these. Look at that view. The sun's just going down. Well, not quite. A while yet. I wanted to come out here while it was like the golden hour. We've got some lovely light to have a look at everything. Some echinops. Lots and lots of daisies. We'll go down and see the pool. There's some nice, oh yeah, look at those. Oh, I wish mine would grow. To be fair, my lily pad at home, when I cleared the pond out, it looked a bit of a mess. I threw it in the compost heap and thought I'll buy a new one, and then I realised how expensive they were, and I fished it out the compost heap and cleaned it off and put it back in the pond. But it's been doing fine, it's still alive. Okay, here's the view then coming up from the pond to the house. Oh, look at all the bees on the lavender. The owners are actually away for a couple of days, and so although you're quite welcome to look round the gardens, it's nice to do it kind of uninhibited, you know. No one's looking out the window thinking, why is she recording everything? Right, let's continue along here. Nice little seating area. Oh, I just love these hydrangeas. Hole in the hedge gives a sneak peek towards the herbaceous borders. Okay, oh, keep going up this way, and this is a slightly less impressive border, I guess, at this time of year. As you can see, this would have had alliums all the way down. I bet it would look spectacular, but that's kind of finished now. If we go up here, then here are the big borders. Loads of daylilies. And if I just go up these steps, you can get the full effect. Oh, how beautiful is that? Imagine looking out of that from your window. This is the water that you could hear. The water feature in the corner of the patio. Wisteria side of the house. And hello, little fox. And there's your view from that table. Not bad, not bad. So what have we got in these borders? More daisies. Oh, this looks like the tansy that I'm growing, but I don't think it is. Oh, oh, of course, it's a yarrow, isn't it? More lilies. More daisies. Ah, I've got this. This is the Russian sage. I like this how it repeats. That's Solomon seal. That's a good tip, isn't it, for creating borders like this? You repeat your plants. I'm not very good at that. Delphinium just going over. Oh, now I know what I wanted to show you on this side. Well, first of all, cardoons. Oh, and look, we were looking at the mullein, is that how you pronounce it, at Woodbrook last week. And there's some in flower. Oh, honesty. More Russian sage, but it's this that I wanted to show you. I absolutely love this. So it's an achillea, but it's like a double. Someone down my street has it, and they've got just a front garden full of it. But look at the effect. You know, just that frothy white. I love it. So this is on my list. Oh, there's a brunaria. That is also on my list. My list is quite long. More daisies. Oh, look at these cardoons. Oh, just starting to flower. Not quite there yet. More lilies. There, I got it right. 1923. Here lived H. Avery Tipping, who made this garden. And in fact, the current owners, the lady wrote a book about the garden and about Tipping, and so we're staying in the cottage on the grounds, which is available on Airbnb. And so the book is in the cottage, so you can read all about the gardens and Tipping. And here we come to the vegetable part. And there's the glass house. It keeps going. What a treat, hey? Imagine having that. Let's go have a look inside. Some agapanthus on the way in. My agapanthus hasn't flowered yet, has it? Has some cosmos and lobelia and things on the way in. Right. Now, when I had a peek in here yesterday, I disturbed a little frog. And he jumped in here, which is the pool inside the greenhouse. Now, I actually have one of these in my greenhouse, obviously, much smaller scale, and frogs did get in that quite a lot, which is why I kind of stopped using it. Anyway, we've got seedlings on the go. Oh, we've got some amaranth up here, look. What else have we got? Pink lichens. I don't know what that is. Oh, there's quite a lot of seedlings up here. And if I just tip the phone up, you can see there's a grapevine that runs the length of this half of the greenhouse. So we've got herbs, and we've got some squashes. Oh, an angelica. Got some angelica apparently. I've got some angelica seeds, I think. Okay, these look like aubergines, don't they? Oh, some basil up there. And then this is the second half of the greenhouse where the cucumbers and the tomatoes are. Loads of tomatoes. Fabulous. Wow, I wonder what varieties they are. And some more aubergine, I think. No flowers on them there. Oh, one coming. Just there. Chilies or peppers over there. Oh, I can see some peppers. We'll have to go around that side. How about cucumbers? Yeah, there's some on there. Oh yeah, look at these. There's the variety. So these ones are golden crown. Walk carefully through here. Don't want to snap anything off. Just want to have a look at these peppers. There we go. Smells lovely. I love the smell of tomatoes. And then, what have we got down here? They look like ranunculus. Huh. Interesting. Oh, look at these grapes right in front of me. Wow, so many grapes. Oh, I didn't look at this side yesterday. I've got some more squashes or courgettes. Any courgettes that are ready? There's a yellow one. Oh, quite a few. Oh, I'm a bit tempted. Better not. There's a green one in there. I see you mocking me for my lack of courgettes. Oh, pretty nasturtiums. Okay, this isn't that impressive because only a couple of the flowers are out. But look at the size of that passiflora. Bearing in mind I just bought one last week. I wonder if it'll... Oh, that's a plum tree. Ah. Plum tree up against the wall. Rhubarb. Maybe this one is not a cadoon. Maybe this one is a clove artichoke. Lettuce. Nice to see someone else has failed with rocket. I mean, it's not nice to see. Foxgloves. Some beans. Some parsley. Not potatoes. It looks like a bed of wallflowers and another bed of wallflowers. And then some brassicas. Oh, look at those apples over there. More crocosmia. Onions ready to harvest. More wallflowers. And that takes us up to this little vegetable garden here, which actually has mostly sweet peas in it. Lovely tall sweet peas there. And there's the orchard. On this side of me is the, well, fruit cage sort of. It's got a fence around it but not a top. Oh, there's the gooseberries. I wonder if they've already been harvested and just a few left. Actually, it looks like a lot of drop, doesn't it? Oh, maybe this family doesn't like gooseberries quite as much as I do. We've been eating them while we're here. Liam doesn't like sour things. Hang on a minute. That was a bit difficult to get through. Yeah, Liam doesn't like sour things. I've been told to stop giving him rhubarb. But he's eating these okay, as I said. They're really sweet. And there's the house. And the borders. You can just hear, perhaps, some drumming in the background. And on our walk today, we passed through what I guess is a kind of conference centre hotel, and there were a group of people there practicing their drumming and other kinds of strange instruments. Oh, look at this hydrangea down here. I'm assuming that's an hydrangea. It's so pretty with the purple. And then that's the kind of famous view of the house between the herbaceous borders that's on the cover of Helena's book and in various magazine articles that have been done on the gardens and the house. But yeah, I mean, it's super peaceful. It's so peaceful. We just had a helicopter come overhead. But other than that, and the drumming in the background, yeah, it's been so quiet. And we felt really lucky to sort of have the whole place to ourselves for just these few days. Just come around the back of the border here because there's some heleniums up here that look fabulous. Oh, and just with that light coming over as well. Look at that. Oh, isn't that glorious? Oh, they're gorgeous. I must grow some of these next year. And some Erigeron, one of my favourites, coming out of the wall there. And a salvia. Just poking through. Yeah, so it feels quite a privilege to be staying here and able to enjoy these gardens. The gardens do open for the National Gardens scheme, so they are open to the public at certain times of the year. Oh gosh, look at this. Now, I've grown this, but the heads aren't quite this big. But look at the bees. They're all over it. Wow. I'm hoping this multiplies in the garden because I have really liked it. And this hydrangea. I keep trying to wrap up the video, but then I see more things. Oh my goodness. Oh, the smell of those. That's wonderful. Oh, you can see the pool at the back there, and then the view over to the Brecon Beacons. Yes, but as I was saying, it is open to the public at certain times of the year. So if you're ever in the Monmouth area, I highly recommend coming to have a little look. Or if you're looking for a nice romantic stay in a little cottage, then this is a good one. I will link to it in the description. All these kind of really lovely little wooden walks on the grounds itself. But of course, that's not nearly far enough for us. So we've been doing some big walks about the area. So some of the footage from the intro to the video was of yesterday's walk, which was an 11-miler. And but we saw some lovely things, deer and sheep. And today we saw a fox, countryside fox, not an urban fox. And just little birdies. And a squirrel. That's all right. They're quite common wildlife. And there we go. There's the cottage. And I would recommend coming winter or early spring because there are hellebores all along here, and it must look stunning at that time of year. But yeah, cute little cottage. It's even got a sort of living room. It's all mossy. So we've got a couple more days here. We'll probably do a lot more walking, a few more rounds of the garden. But I shall see you when I get back. Cheers. Good morning, and I'm home. Back in the home garden, and the sun is shining. But it rained last night, and it has, I think, been raining the entire time we've been away. So yeah, when I came back and did my little inspection, part of that was like slug hunting, but also, you know, had to say goodbye to some of the stuff that they had eaten while I was away. Clearly all that rain and the fact that I was absent, they just had a buffet, had a party, and yeah, so I've lost at least 2 or 3 of the dahlias. I guess the tubers are still there underground. We'll have another go next year, but it is a bit disappointing. And I kind of felt, even though I was only away for 4 days, that I would come back and like I'd have loads of tomatoes and the cucumbers would have grown and everything would just be lush and huge and I'd have flowers, and yeah, none of that happened. But you know, the garden is still here, it's still ticking along. Those transition shots that you just saw were from our final walk on the holiday, which was across the Black Mountain in the Brecon Beacons, and it was a great walk. We did have some rain, so you know, eventually the rain caught up with us, but only a little bit. For the most part, it was it was actually perfect walking weather, and the horses up there, the wild Welsh horses, were incredible, so that was a real treat. What I wanted to say about that walk as well is that it started, you know, lower down on the hills, and there were loads of wild raspberries, which was amazing, and then as you got up onto the hills, it was like you got heathers and bracken and stuff, and then within all of that is bilberries. And now I was sort of 99% sure that they were bilberries, but with all foraging you need to kind of just double check yourself, and there was no signal up there, so I couldn't, and I was very good and said, you know, the proper and safe thing to do with foraging is not to eat anything you can't be 100% certain on. So when I got down there and I looked, and of course they were bilberries, but I kind of kicked myself, but I made up for it in the amount of wild raspberries that I ate. Those ones I was 100%. So yes, my body is still feeling the after effects of, what did we do, 33 miles in 3 days? But no rest for the wicked, because I have an open garden today to host. So I mentioned when I was giving you the tour at Glanau, that it was part of the National Garden Scheme, and here is a couple of brochures, one for Leicestershire where I am, one for Derbyshire where Liam is, and this is such a great scheme because you get to go and see gardens, real people's gardens, real gardens that you otherwise probably wouldn't have access to. So just want to give a shout out to the National Garden Scheme if you don't know about it, and you can get these brochures like in libraries and things like that, but or community centres, but it's also all online. Anyway, my garden is not part of that. Nowhere near that. But my aunt decided to organise a kind of local open gardens for the church, and so she put me on. I'm billed as a no-dig garden, and I'm not quite sure how many gardens are on the tour or open today, but my slot is kind of a long lunch slot because I am actually at work today, and work from home, and so I'm expecting people about 12:30, something like that. So yesterday when I got back before the rain started, I managed to get the mower around, so I've cut the lawn, I've trimmed the edges, I did a little bit of weeding, and that's about all I had time for. So this morning I just want to tidy things up a bit, maybe put some stuff into the gaps, particularly in the veg beds, because I've taken out that coriander that had gone to seed now, and I've taken out anything else. Oh, of course, the onions. The onions came out last week. So there are gaps, and what I've got to put in the gaps is obviously brassicas, but also leeks. My leeks are still in their cell trays. I'm not sure if they should have been in the ground quite some time ago. So I might put some of those in, but most are destined for the allotment. Let's have a good tidy up and get this garden show ready. There's quite a few victims of the slugs are in the new bed. So these self-seeded sunflowers have been completely eaten. Look at this poor thing. So rather than have a kind of scraggly half-eaten thing, I think I'll just remove those. And then here's the dahlia casualties. That was the tartan. Aww. And there's a night butterfly. Gone. Now this one is doing strong, or going strong. Oh, that's another tartan. Oh, okay, that's good. Did I have any more night butterfly? Oh, well, yeah. That one. Yes, not great, is it, Dory? Not great. Get off. This sunflower's holding on. It's kind of a short one. I wonder if it's going to be one of the teddy bear ones. I did grow those last year, but I had no seed left for this year. Dory, oh, well, yeah, eat the couch grass. That helps with weeding. On the opposite side, the cafe au lait are holding on and are okay. I just keep seeing people's pictures on Instagram and they've got all their dahlias out. And my poor weedy things. This rose didn't fare very well while I was away, and yet the one that looked dead has got loads of new growth on. And this one, which has loads of buds, one of the new ones, look at that. There we go. And this Night Queen dahlia, I mean, it's still got something at the top. Hang on in there, dahlia, hang on in there. And there's one of the culprits, eating the red dahlias. I keep trying to remind myself as well that dahlias are supposed to be an autumn flowering plant, so there's still time. There's still time for them to recover and do their thing. Now, what I am pleased about for today's open garden is that the clematis arch is looking fabulous, and we've still got loads of sweet peas, so that's nice. And these beds are okay. Quite a bit of this lettuce has been eaten, but maybe we can fill in the gaps. What I did bounce to life while I was away were the begonias. So they've really filled out, which is nice. And yeah, we've got a little lemon on the lemon tree. Got our 2 apples on the apple tree. One thing I am really pleased to see when I got back was these gladioli have flowered, and just look at them. How gorgeous are they? Unfortunately, you have to kind of bend down to get the full effect. So, you know, there's some stuff to look at, some stuff to see. Now this is where I've got one of my gaps, where the onions and coriander came out of. So maybe some leeks in there then. I'm not sure how impressed people will be with my insane mint bed. I love it. I think it's fabulous. But yeah, I guess that's sort of one of the things. I'm not exactly, although I've got a cottage style-y thing going on, not exactly showing a traditional kind of garden. So we'll see what they think. See what they make of no dig and this kind of mishmash of things. I mean, look at this flower bed where I just have this enormous kale stuck in the middle. And I've got lettuces. Oh, I did have lettuces. Yeah, I think they're all gone. Yeah, can't see any of those. And to be honest, I was surprised that they lasted as long as they did. Anyway, there it is. So I'll tidy it up a little bit, but that's pretty much it. We'll see what they make of it. Good morning. It's Saturday, it's about 6:30 in the morning. I'm trying to be quiet down here. It's actually really peaceful. It reminds me of the first visit I had to the plot when I first got it, although that was in the depths of winter and now we're supposedly in summer. But it's got that kind of same feeling. You know, it's deserted, very calm, very peaceful. Oh, Dory, there's a slug. 2 slugs. Oh, Dory. Yeah, the slug problem is not just all this rain that we've been having, but it's also that the plot has got really overgrown. So after my sort of 2 weeks really intense on here during Wimbledon fortnight, and when I had the 2 weeks off work, it's been a little bit neglected since, I have to say. And in part that's because everything is just kind of doing its thing. The squashes plants are getting bigger, the beans are getting higher, but my grass paths have gone a bit crazy, and clearly that's a habitat for slugs and snails. So I've lost a few things. The beans from my bamboo A-frame that I planted in the rain, completely gone, completely eaten by snails. Mum and I did a little harvest yesterday, and I picked 2 kohlrabi and half of them were eaten by snails. But we picked also peas, the first of the runner beans, some tree spinach, which is doing great, and 2 broccoli. Well, so one of the broccolis I think had, well, it was going to flower, so that had to come off. But it made lovely tender stem. I ate it last night. So I think I've got to keep an eye on the broccoli, because it seems to be shooting quite quickly. But yeah, so it's Saturday, so it's a couple of days since the open garden, which was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I didn't get much done in terms of sprucing up the garden before they came after I left you, but nevertheless, it was what it was. Actually, after the open garden, my mum had obviously been eyeing up my paths and how overgrown they were, and so she edged my paths, and gosh, the garden looks so much better now just from that edging. But that wasn't done for the actual open garden. But yeah, I had 11 people in the end, including my mum and my aunt, and I wanted to take some shots from the upstairs windows, people milling around the garden and stuff, but I was too busy. I was, taking them around and telling them all about my plants and things like that. So, but it really, people gave me such lovely comments, and it really bolstered me. So yeah, it was well worth doing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it made me feel a lot better about some of the sort of things I've been feeling perhaps a bit despondent about in the garden, which is really how slow things are coming along, because although we've had all this wet weather, we've just not had enough warmth for things to get going really. It's only in these last couple of days that we've got over 20 degrees, and the greenhouse thermometer registered under 10 degrees on some of the nights in the last couple of weeks. So, speaking of things that bolster and get you motivated again, while I was in Wales, I got an email from the site committee, and it turns out that I got 2nd place as best newcomer. So my plot got best newcomer, runner-up. So what I was super chuffed. I can't even say how pleased I was about it. I clearly have a competitive edge, but I thought I'd promised you a couple of times that we would go around and look at some of the I said we would look at some of the ones that I thought should win the prizes. Well, now I know who's won, so we'll go and look at the ones that have actually won. So, and I think because it's really early, Dory seems very alert. We might see the foxes. So I'm going to keep my camera ready in case they appear. I've seen evidence of them right on my path, so I think I might clear that up, and then we'll go on our little tour. So first up on the tour, Second place. I got 170 points, I think. So I was 5 points off the winner, which is not much. So yeah, perhaps we'll do that one first. We'll go see who beat me. So this is plot 27A and the winner of the newcomer prize. And I think you can see why. So I think this couple got this is a half plot. I think they got it pretty much when I got mine, and it was very much just a blank canvas. There was nothing but weeds here, and they've worked it incredibly. You know, full respect to these guys. They definitely were the winners. In fact, they won with 175 points, and I can't believe I was only 5 points off of this, because yeah, it's pretty impressive. And one of the things they did was put stuff in really early, and I kept thinking, well, that's too early, that's all just going to die and stuff. But no, I mean, look at the tomatoes. Tomatoes. The beans are just insane. Look at the beans. The apple tree obviously was already here. Two apple trees. I think there's another fruit tree behind the beans as well. But yeah, I was chatting with them the other day, and they were saying how lucky they feel they've been, because, well, they said they had beginner's luck, but they said the soil is really good on this plot, and you can see it actually. Look how good this soil is. That is definitely workable soil. They've been busy weeding as well. They said because they rotivated the plot. Come on, Dory. She's trying to get on there. Because they rotivated the plot when they first got it, they do get a lot of weeds. So everything, like 3 or 4 days, they're down here trying to keep it weed free. But yeah, they put so much work into that plot. Oh, let's look at their bristles. Oh my god, they've already got tiny bristles. So cool. And the corn looks great. Yeah. Well deserved. Well deserved. Right, let's find who I beat though. Let's see who came third place. Okay, plot 51 was the third place. I don't come up this end of the site very much because it's not on like the dog routes or anything. Oh my gosh, look at these blackberries. Look, so big. Oh, a bit sour. And I just brushed my teeth. But we picked some yesterday, me and Mum, from the bush that's opposite my plot, which is on common land. And yeah, they were delicious. Really good. But yeah, as I said, I don't come up this end very much. So it's nice to have a little nosy about. 51. Here we go. Plot 51. So I've never even seen this plot. This is our happy place. Oh wow. Oh my god, they've got like a well and a windmill. How did I beat this plot? Oh, it's so neat. Look at the trees with the bug box on it. And they've done all the little raised beds. This is really good. And these have also got really good tomatoes going. Oh, a lot of tomatoes. Chilies, are they over there, or peppers? I've got some lettuces, strawberries. I guess I've got more in the ground in terms of variety of crops, and that's one of the things that you're getting graded on every different type of veg. So if you're not growing something, you don't get any points for that veg, which is worth bearing in mind. You know, if you want to win. Well, their shed looks like a portaloo. But yeah, very good. Okay, interesting. And this one got 160 points. This was 10 points behind me. Right, so if this is the 50s, where are the 70s? Because that's where the winner of the best plot, so not the newcomer one, just the best plot. Right, I better have a hunt. We're walking back past mine now, and yeah, I guess I can see why I might have pipped that one. I think I've got a bigger plot though, so I can fit more in. And there's Mark's. Mark will be vying for best plot next year, I'm sure. How's his stuff doing? He did say, oh, he's loved all this rain, but the weeds have gone crazy. This is rotivating for you. All power to the no dig, that's what I say. Not that my plot is weed free at all, but yeah, certainly a bit better than these rotivated plots, I think. As we come by, I'm giving honourable mention to my dog walking friend and neighbour. This is her plot, and it's a lovely plot, and she's got great sweet peas. They were such a lovely colour. They're going over now, and look at her tree spinach. I'm trying to remember if I gave her that tree spinach. I can't remember. I might have. She's got tomatoes in the back there, and she's got her new brassica cage. You can just see them inside. So she has entrusted me to water her plot while she's away. So that's my job. I'm not watering my own plot particularly, but I'm going to be watering hers. Now this plot hasn't won, but is my absolute favourite. I love this plot. I love the little shed in green at the back there. I love the amount of wildflowers that she's got going on. And look at all the calendula there. She's got her beans. Yeah, I just think big pumpkin patch. I just love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to model my ideal plot on this one. Oh, how gorgeous is that poppy as well. Yeah, I really like that plot. And her dahlias are stunning. Stunning. Oh, I really like those. Come on, Dory. But not a winner, I don't think. Right, I've lost my numbers again. So that was 69, so we must be close. Wow, those are some big sunflower heads. Aren't they lovely with the echinacea? Oh, that's really nice. I like that combination. That's plot 72. There we go. Honourable mention from me. So I think the winners of best plot must be these ones. It's two plots, 78 and 79, but these aren't numbered, so I can't be 100% sure, but they do look impressive. Look at the wall of beans. That's a lot of beans. I've just double checked some counting, and yeah, I think this is it. So we've got courgettes, leeks over there, or onions in those boxes. There's all berries up there, obviously all the beans. Shall we have a sneaky peek behind the beans? I don't know what the rules are of coming down and looking into other people's plots. Wow, potatoes, lots of potatoes. All brassicas at the end there. Some sweet peas, raspberries, lots of brassicas over there as well. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I bet they got top points for their onions. Look at the size of those. They're nice onions. Dory, get off. Well, it's really full, and I think you can see there how those plots would have got lots of points because so many crops growing, so many different crops. Yeah. So let's check what was their points. They got 207 points. And the closest to them, which is Bim's plot, who is the person who gave me the greenhouse, he was the closest at 185 points. So he was only 15 points more than me. And you can see why that surprises me when we get there. This is 3 plots. So this is the first one. And there's also this plot and this plot. It's a huge amount of growing space, and he's got greenhouses and sheds all along the back there. But look how pretty he makes it. Look at those gladioli. I've had one gladioli come out now at home in the front garden, and I cut it immediately and brought it into the house. But doesn't his look great? And this was all roses earlier in the year, and he had loads of daffodils. There's the dahlias. Look at how tall his corn is. That's tall corn. Cage is full of corn as well. I didn't know he was growing corn in the cage. Oh, and he's got beans coming up over it there. I don't know if... I think I prefer bins, but from what I've heard, you know, he's had these plots an awfully long time and is a regular winner. So I don't know if they wanted somebody else to win this year, but oh my goodness, yeah, it's such an impressive setup. Right, so our final one to find is plot 15, and this one got 145 points, so this got less points than me. I think I found it. I can't see a sign, but 14 is next door, so I'm assuming this is the one. And yeah, it's quite a nice plot, isn't it? Nicely laid out with its paths, some flowers. Oh, courgettes are doing well. Look at those. Hello. Yeah. Plenty of space to get more crops going. So there we go. There is the 2023 allotment prize winners. Apparently first and second place get a certificate, so I will be proudly hanging my certificate in the shed, and I think we get a voucher to spend in the allotment shop as well, so that'd be cool. A final honourable mention to plot 31, which is a half plot, which is my old music teacher's plot from when I was a kid, from primary school, and I'm giving her neatest plot. We caught her weeding this yesterday, and yeah, doesn't it look immaculate? Very, very, very pretty plot. And quite an interesting one, because this is the plot that has the trees in the middle of each bed, which I was slightly inspired by. I didn't go in that direction in the end, but I did make my fruit tree guilds at the back of the plot, so it was a kind of compromise. It's probably worth showing this plot. Sorry, we will wrap this up in a minute. So this is the other side of the plot that Mark got kind of 2/3 of, and then someone else got the other third. And see, this is what I think Mark should have done. It's just you fill it, you just get as much crops in as possible, get your roots in the ground, and that keeps the weeds down, because this was rotivated as well. But you've got to have time. I know that this person is here every single day, whereas Mark has a full-time job and a family. Some might say I also have a full-time job and a full-size plot, a big garden, my food forest front garden, and yeah, doing it all on my own. So feeling quite proud of myself, really, I guess, for winning second place, and for my open garden. That was nice. And now clearly it's all about the prizes for me, because I'm on to the next thing now, which is the town horticultural show. Now ours is not until the 3rd of September, which I'm really pleased about. It gives you plenty of time, and because everything I feel is being really slow, I am hopeful by the time that we come around to the beginning of September, I'll have quite a lot of produce that I can show. And I've never done it before. Last year I went along to the horticultural show just to kind of see what it was all about. Obviously I didn't have my allotment then, but I was producing vegetables in the home garden in the raised beds, and I really kicked myself afterwards, because it was really poorly attended, and I'm surprised they're doing it again this year. And I think if perhaps the attendance is as bad this year as it was last, they'll stop doing it altogether. So I'm trying to encourage as many people as I can to come and take part. But yeah, last year I could have put anything in and won, because it would have just been default prizes. Most of the tables were empty. Some of that I can see because this is happening in September, but there are categories for like broad beans. Who has broad beans in September? I'm almost tempted to just stick some seed in the ground and see if I can grow a couple of broad beans in time, and then I'll win that one, because who else would have broad beans? Yeah, I am not ashamed to get a default prize. But anyway, I picked up the leaflet and so I can see all the categories and I can start planning what I might show. I think it's 50p an entry, and the prize is like 20p, I think. So I think to wrap up for this week, a week in which I've done no sowing of seeds, planted nothing with you either. It's not to say I haven't been doing some stuff. I pruned and watered and fed and mulched the tomatoes in the greenhouse yesterday. I put that passiflora and curry plant in that I bought. Actually, that's probably about it. Yeah. But yes, so to end this week, let's just have a quick gander around the plot and see what some of the crops that might be coming. I might end up at the town horticultural show. So we could have beetroot. Probably should have thinned these at some point. They weren't multi-sown, they were direct sown. But surprisingly, the slugs and birds don't seem to have bothered with these too much, whereas in the home garden, completely annihilated. Now, can we keep the slugs off of the kohlrabi long enough to have one of those to show, do you think? They are bulbing up really nicely. I took the two worst affected by the slugs yesterday, and actually, you know what? Once you cut out all the bad bits, there was enough for a side dish. Can you see? So all the things I thought were kales are turning out not to be kales. That's cauliflower, I think, or actually looking at that could be a Romanesco. That would be really good if I had one of those to show. More kohlrabis that I thought were kales. Might have potatoes to show. And I mean, my corn compared to everybody else's, mine's about knee high rather than head high. But isn't it supposed to be knee high by the 4th of July? Well, we're at the end of July now. We'll see. There's a month to go. We'll definitely have carrots. And oh, it's a bit difficult to see in the tunnel with the sun on it. Just make out in there. Oh, I don't think you can. Oh, there we go. I've got a broccoli, and that broccoli is a proper head, whereas this one is oh, that's really hard to film through the netting. Oh, there we go. That one is separating out and will soon be flowering, so I've got to take that one out and eat it. Either we'll have some squash to show, so it probably wouldn't be in time for a winter squash, although maybe something will crop early, those little orange ones. But what I did notice yesterday was that this winter squash is actually a courgette, and I am finally going to get some courgettes, she says, hopeful, because I'm not getting anything from that one. That's got a flower, some flower buds, potentially that one. That's probably the best looking one, but yeah, you can just see the slug damage. So the tromboncino has made its way to the arch. I've got to train it up now, and then all of these other ones Who knows what they are. This I know is the Big Macs, and it's Big Maxing. Be good, keep growing. But yeah, some of the tendrils are coming out. Look at that one go. So that's rather exciting. Oh, we're stuck in the middle of squash and sunflowers now, Dory. Come on, this way. Oh, what's that over there? Oh my lordy. Is that an actual tromboncino? That's exciting. Oh my goodness. Yay. Right, make sure you pollinate. Maybe I should pollinate for it. Let's go find a male flower. So here's a male flower, oh, complete with slug. Oh. And you know it's male because it's a thin stalk. There's no bulbousness there that would indicate a fruit. So you can take your male flower, and then what you want to do is peel back the petals and expose the stamen. Oh, you can see the pollen. Oh, you perhaps couldn't because, oh, I've dropped it. I didn't actually have that near the camera, but yeah, the pollen was already drifting off. So now we take this and we find our tromboncino flower. We can take out some of these weeds. Oh, people warning me about how invasive this creeping cinquefoil is. You were right. And then if you expose the centre, and you can just rub some of the pollen on there, and hopefully that will now mean it's pollinated. It could already have been pollinated by insects, and obviously that's the way nature does it, but just to kind of make sure. So I'm just going to take this around now and see if there are any other fruits that I can add a bit of assurance to. Mostly male flowers at the moment, but I got another. Right, we better go, Dory. Better go get you walked, because although I would like to spend the entire weekend on the plot, I'm actually out and about this weekend. So it is Vegan Camp Out 2023. So Mark and my sister, my nephew and I, we're all going off to Oxfordshire for the weekend to celebrate things, all things vegan. So lots of food, and but yeah, other things too. So I shall perhaps outro with some clips from Vegan Camp Out. In the meantime, yeah, that was a slightly odd episode of a mix of things, but I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you next week, where we will definitely be doing some work on the plot, if only weeding and trimming. Okay, so take care.
complicated one. I think you've got it though. I think you've got it. Yes. Absolute result. You should be proud of yourself for that one.